Okay, we're going to talk about decimals. Now, wow, that's poorly written. Let's try that again. Decimals. Okay, what we're going to do, I'm going to make it as easy as I can for you. And let's start with 23, and let's multiply it by 2. Now let's put our decimal in the middle. When you see a decimal, don't get all freaked out. It's just pretend it's not there for the time being. And I'll show you when you need to pay attention to it being there. So let's start with 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6, right? And next, let's do 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Now this is where we have to pay attention to our decimal. Okay, what we're going to ask is how many places are in back of the decimal? Well, there's one place behind the decimal, that box. So then you start over here on the far right side and you scoot over one space. So our answer is, and let me erase this so that it looks right, it's 4.6. Okay? Now, some of you are thinking, well, that's just the same as dropping the decimal. Well, it's not. Don't ever get used to doing that because you're going to get some problems wrong. Okay? So let me take that box off, and I'm going to write a new problem for us. Let's write a problem, and let's make this one 2.3 times 1.2. Okay? Now, we'll start with, I'll do yellow. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. Now we're going to go over to the 1. Now our 1 is in the tens place, so we're going to put a 0 here as a placeholder, okay? Because we want our answer to go here in the tens place slot. So now I'm going to say 1 times 3. 1 times 3 is 3. And then 1 times 2 is 2. Now what do we do next? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to add. And I hope you guys already said add along with me. So we have 6 plus 0 is 6. 3 plus 4 is 7. And 2 plus blank is 2, right? How many places do we have under or in back of the decimal? We've got 1, 2 places behind. So we're going to start over at the far right side and move over 2 places. Okay? So we're going to move over 2 places. Now let me take that off so that I now have shown you how to do that, right? So I'm just going to put the decimal right there. So it's 2.76. That's how easy decimals are. So if you know how to multiply multiple digit numbers, you will be fine with decimals. Because it's just like multiplying your multiple digit number, and then you just count the places behind the decimal. So let's have everybody say it. Count the places behind the decimal. And that's how you get your answer. And that is multiplying. That's the easy way of multiplying decimals. I love math. Right, what we're going to talk about is decimals, multiplying decimals. So let's start with a simple problem like 23 times 2. We start that by multiplying the 2 and the 3. 2 times 3 is 6. And then we're going to go to 2 times 2 is 4. Okay? So what's our answer? 23 times 2 is 46. Now let's change this problem slightly, shall we? Let's say we have 2.3 times 2. Okay? So let's start with doing our 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Now we're doing the 2 times 2, and that is 4. Now, don't worry about having a decimal in there. I know they're scary, but don't worry about it. Because this is the only time you deal with your decimal. We're just going to do our math as normal, like we just did. And we're not going to worry about the decimal until right now. Now we're going to ask the question, how many places are behind the decimal? Now this highlighted area that I just highlighted, how many places is that? That's 1. So we're going to start here, and we're going to move our decimal over 1 place. So our answer is 4.6. Okay? And that's how easy decimals can be. Let me do one more, because I hope that you, the thing you have to remember about these kinds of problems are, and let me do the 23 again, and let's put a decimal in between those, and let's multiply by 2.3, okay? Now what we're going to do is going to do a problem as normal, okay? I'm going to change my colors this time. Let's go with 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Now we're going with 2 times 2, and that is 4. Now what do we do next? Well, I hope someone's saying, put a placeholder, Mr. McGuire. You are right. Put a placeholder right there. Why? Because we're moving over to the 10. The 10. So, I know, it's really a 1.2, but it's kind of like it's in the 10 place. You know, it's kind of like this is in the 1's place here, and then this is the 10's, right? So we're just going to treat it like that. We're going to put our 0 there, okay? So we put our 0, so we have our placeholder. Now we're going to do 1 times 3. 1 times 3 is 3. And then we're going to do 1 times 2, and that would be 2. Now, let me move this up a little bit so you can see it. Now, what do we do next? I hope you're all saying, hey, you need to add, Mr. McGuire. And I'm going right on. So let's add. 6 plus 0 is 6. 3 plus 4 is 7. And 2 plus blank is 2. Now here's what we do like we did last time. How many places, that's what we need to ask. How many places are behind the decimals? Yeah. If you said there are 2 places behind a decimal, you are correct. So we're going to go over how many spaces. 1, 2, and we put our decimal there. Does that make sense? So, just multiply as usual, and at the end, you count the places behind the decimal, and that's how many places over you move your decimal. And that's how easy decimals are to multiply. So, don't be surprised if you have a question like this on your test. So, as I always say, I love math.